You know, once in a while, grown-ups get scared and spooked by some weird things, too.
There once was a nice grandmother who was afraid that her grandson wouldn't like her cooking. She was always coming up with new recipes to make him like her food. No matter what, her grandson would always dislike her food that she cooked for him. Is this porridge? No. The grandmother gave him food. That was good, a nice red tomato. But the grandson yelled even louder. I don't want to eat your tomatoes. I don't like them. I want chocolate-covered tomatoes. And whoosh, he threw the tomato against the wall. The tomato stuck on the wall, then plopped down on the floor. And you know what was left on the wall? A huge red stain. So the grandson kept turning down all the food his granny cooked for him. And then he turned around and saw his granny was gone. Now, the poor boy got a taste of a real scary nightmare. The boy was terrified. He wasn't used to staying home alone, and he screamed for his granny. Granny, please come back. I'm shivering with fear. But there was no answer, not a peep. Oh, maybe that scary red dog sucked in my granny like a vacuum cleaner. That's what the boy thought, for no reason at all. It was very quiet. Only the refrigerator was making weird sounds, as if it was alive and digesting something in its belly. The curtains were drawn. No light came in, and in the dark, the scary red spot dripped with tomato juice. The boy decided to wipe out that scary red dot. But then something in the kitchen sink started huffing and puffing, making it wiggle and jiggle and giggle. The boy was really scared, shaking in his boots. Oh, there must be some crazy rhino croc living in this sewer coming to get me. Oh, Granny, come and save me. I'm scared. And again, no one answered. The poor boy. The wind was blowing outside. The window shut so suddenly that the glass almost flew out of it. What a powerful wind! What a scary noise! It must be a terrifying gator rhino flying, hunting around for its prey. Outside the window, the lightning struck and the thunder rolled. That storm wreaked havoc. That was the moment when the doorbell rang. The boy froze in fear. The monster was here. I will not open the door. Then he saw and heard the key slowly turning in the lock. There is no need to be scared. I'm a big boy. So he grabbed the room, all ready to defend himself. The lock clicked. The door creaked. Who was standing in the doorway? His granny. Hello, my dear boy. I brought some tasty treats for my favorite grandson. Come, my darling, and have some nice snacks. She took out of her bag and put on the table cookies, a bunch of strawberries, bananas, and a vanilla ice cream. His granny even managed to get him some chocolate-covered tomatoes. Oh, I was so worried about you because I left you home alone. You didn't even get scared of lightning and thunder. That's right, Granny. I wasn't scared at all. The boy told his grandmother, all happy, sweeping away the tomato he had smashed before. I thought I should help you out with cleaning. Why should I be scared? I'm a big boy. And before his grandmother had a chance to disappear again, the boy quickly wiped out that red spot off the wall. Grown-ups have a lot to do, in the house and outside too. If you're left at home alone, don't ever moan and groan. Doing homework and chores will kick the fear right out the doors. You should pick up a mop and broom to do some cleaning in your room. And it is not okay at all to throw tomatoes at the wall. of cake. Every time I see a truck selling ice cream, I run up to it very fast and I scream, give me a zillion, billion, give or take. They say that soon all my teeth are gonna break, and that I will have a terrible toothache. No, that's a mistake. My teeth will not break. Today I'm going to tell you a very scary and terrible story about how one girl was afraid of doctors and the awful things that happened to her one day. Late one night, Seema prepared some dinner to her toys. From modeling clay, she made black cutlets. She also made them some cream of wheat porridge. She sat her dolls and began to treat them. A piece for Grandma, a piece for Grandpa, one for Mommy, and so on. In short, Seema had fed all the dolls her cooking, and at the same time, she ate herself too. Then it was night. Seema laid in her bed, but she could not sleep. Seema's stomach was gurgling like a swamp. She should have told her mother as soon as possible, but Seema was afraid that if she did, her mom would immediately call the doctor, and that would just be terrible. It was better to suffer. My stomach will be stronger if it aches. Suddenly, Seema heard someone very close, breathing hard. Seema got on the bed and tried to see who was there crying in the closet. It seemed no one was there. Only the porcelain doll, Louisa, sat in the corner. And then, in the moonlight, Seema noticed that Louisa's big glass eyes were overflowing with tears. Suddenly, someone moaned softly under Seema's bed. Seema looked, and there, the teddy bear was lying and squealing. "Oh, my tummy, my tummy!" And immediately, from all sides, her toys began to moan. "Samoshka, call an ambulance! Our stomachs are aching from your porridge and cutlets." Seema trembled all over. "What do you mean, ambulance? Doctors, this is the most terrible thing in the world. If the awful doctor comes because of an emergency, he'll immediately prescribe us all a terrible and bitter medicine. He will make you all show your tongues, and without mercy, he will shove a spoon in your mouth. And those who cry and resist, the doctor will grab and take them away into the hospital."
But apparently, the tourists didn't care with whom or where they would go. Oh, our bellies hurt. They were crying and wouldn't quiet down. And now, Seema's stomach was so twisted that before her eyes, there were pink and blue stripes, some orange spots, and tons of green clouds. Also, there were pink dragons eating donuts while flying around in the green clouds. Seema only had time to think, look at all the donuts the dragons have eaten. And then she flew somewhere else. A long time or short time after, Seema finally woke up. Then she touched her stomach. It didn't seem to hurt. Seema opened her eyes and didn't quite know how she ended up in a strange room with white walls. With nothing to do, Seema hit the shiny button. Then bam! The door opened and the Snow Maiden came in, all clean, white, and smiling. Well, now she's going to wish me a Happy New Year, thought Seema. But the Snow Maiden was not at all the Snow Maiden. She was a doctor. And she didn't give Seema bitter medicine at all. She just patted her on the head, touched her tummy, and told Seema, it would be better to eat oranges, not awful inventions of clay. If you hadn't eaten all this stuff, you wouldn't have been rushed to the hospital today. Well, this hospital isn't that unpleasant, thought Seema. The lady doctor isn't scary at all. Next time, don't be afraid of her and just tell her what is wrong. That is right. No need to fear a doctor, but a cook. Listen to me. Some of them cook without even reading a book.
If you are hasty to singing in opera, start with some tasty food. It's very popular all over Italy. Pasta and pizza, everyone loves it. Maestros and divas, artists go for it. Actors adore it, footballers score it. They love to sing, la 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 la. All love to sing, la 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 la. All love to sing. Oldsters and youngsters who live in Italy love to sing arias, slurping spaghetti. Lovely Venezia, folks on the esplanade, after their pizza will sing you a serenade. All busy barbers, showbiz reporters, even globetrotters love to sing there. La 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 la, there they will sing. La 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 la, there they will sing.
Today, I'm going to tell you a terrible story about a boy who wanted to be kidnapped by aliens from outer space. This boy loved two things most of all: books and, of course, candy. And the boy didn't like to read children's books about Baba Yaga or real serious books. He'd prefer books about aliens from outer space, extraterrestrial intelligence, and other science fiction stories about humanoids. He'd read them at night under a blanket because aliens are watching us from a far, far away, and they always want to steal someone who is out of place. Just a blanket can protect you from aliens. It's been checked. Never ever has a humanoid found a child that was hidden under a blanket. But one night, when it was very dark, the boy felt an extraterrestrial was going to find him. In the darkness, just outside the blanket, came a heart-wrenching crunch, like the crunch of a shower curtain. And then the boy heard ominous steps. Then he heard such a horrible wheezing, his heart jumped out of his skin, and he hid under the pillow. The boy became afraid of just being terrified. He looked out from under the blanket, and bam! He didn't see anyone. It was all pitch dark. And then suddenly, out of the darkness, a terrible ray of light struck. The boy wanted to scream, but he couldn't, because right in front of him, a light of ray appeared. And then he saw a scary, inhuman hedgehog. Although, how terrifying is that? It's just a little hedgehog. It smelled candy, got into the house, climbed up the nightstand, and stepped on the lamp switch. So when the light lit up, the hedgehog was so scared. When the light lit up, the hedgehog forgot all about the candy. The boy was very happy that the hedgehog wasn't an extraterrestrial, but a local, and they became friends. The boy put the hedgehog in a washing machine, then launched him in the rocket, and the hedgehog loved all of it. A hedgehog enjoys any experiment, especially if you give it some candy afterwards. But then one dark, dark night, the hedgehog suddenly disappeared. The boy knew what happened. Of course, those humanoids were just waiting to steal the hedgehog and had already prepared the ship for an interstellar travel. And along with the hedgehog, the extraterrestrial took all the candy in the house. The boy overcame his fear and ran to save the hedgehog and the candy from the aliens. Suddenly, he saw something. Right in front of the house, in the sandbox, on the playground, was a flying saucer. 2 green aliens, the hedgehog, and a bag full of candy. Then even worse, he couldn't believe his eyes. The hedgehog took off its hedgehog suit, and it turned out that he wasn't a hedgehog at all, but a humanoid, just like the others. The boy cried out in surprise. Then something unexpected happened. The aliens were so terrified they jumped into their saucer and flew away, but then immediately returned. They took the candy, got frightened again, and flew away. Now the boy realized it wasn't worth being afraid. After all, aliens are simply small, green humanoids who love candy. Where could they get candy in space? So the poor things fly to us for candies. From then on, every evening, the boy always puts candy on the windowsill. If by chance the aliens come while he's sleeping, they have a treat.
Clear the way I need to make room.
there was a good boy who was scared to death of any infection. If a cat sneezed nearby, immediately after that, the boy would be suffering from a heart attack. I am going to tell you now what a horrible story it turned out to be. All kids knew that the scary old pond at the wasteland was a death trap. The pond itself was not big. It was usually shallow, but our girls were afraid to walk there. Everyone says that slippery frogs live in the pond, bloodthirsty leeches, and even a real-sized water monster. So these boys decided to catch this water monster once and for all. They packed their backpacks and got ready to start this new adventure. Keshka and Geshka brought over old wood boards and started to make a float boat so they could move around the scary old pond. But the pounding sound of their hammers was so loud that Sayamushka got scared and started whimpering. Don't pound so hard. I feel like you're hammering my head. Keshka and Geshka didn't listen to him. They hoisted the mast, raised the sails, and tried to catch the wind. And Sayamushka sat down, afraid of the future, while murmuring to himself. Oh, how scary! We're going into the scary pond now. And they can catch chicken pox, and then they'll contaminate me. Sayamushka held on to his medicine box, which was put inside his backpack by his grandma, just in case. Meanwhile, Keshka and Geshka grabbed some leftover wood, and they started to push off the shore to move the boat. This is the end, thought Sayamushka. They will end up getting tetanus from the old piece of wood. So Sayamushka decided to put on a mask to protect his runny nose and avoid getting tetanus. Luckily, he had a mask, which was placed inside his backpack by his grandma, just in case. Keshka and Geshka were sweating, but they kept on pushing until their faces got very red. And Sayamushka thought the boys had caught an epidemic rosola. He then took a bottle of green disinfectant and put it all over his body to avoid rosola contamination. Keshka and Geshka started to sing. Hey, Dubinushka, Yuhem. Hey, Zayonaya Samapudit. And with the song, the boys pushed so hard that they lost their balance and fell into the water. At that very moment, Sayamushka started to panic. He was scared and yelled. Now these stupid guys will contaminate me with a dropsy. He pulled on a diving suit, which was also placed in his medicine box by his grandma. Keshka and Geshka got out of the water and laughed like two babies. And then they saw with their own eyes the water monster wearing a diving suit and a flu mask. Keshka and Geshka had no fear. They caught the water monster and started to carry him to make the girls scared. But the girls had no fear of him. They realized right away that the water monster was Sayamushka. After all, he was snoring very loud. So well, have you ever met someone like Sayamushka? They're coughing, sneezing, and know everything about all diseases. And they scare all children around them with all kinds of illnesses. They whimper and spread rumors, and people get really scared, and they run to the drugstore to buy all kinds of medicines. It is better to stay away from rumors. Take good care of yourself, exercise regularly, and keep up your good hygiene. Eat more fruits, and that way, no infection, no illnesses, no diseases, and no bacteria will be strong enough to make you sick.
living in a dream. I run around and scream. I can balance on a beam, go swimming in a stream. I am following my own rule. Time gets caught up in a whirlpool. When you're free from homework and school, life is really cool. What has happened? What's with me? I am about to cry. And how could this even be? Somebody tell me why. This has taken quite a bad turn, and it's causing such a big concern. Oh, if only I could soon return. I live and learn. Don't be lazy, don't be bad. Don't be lazy, don't be bad. You'll be happy, you'll be glad. You'll be happy, you'll be glad. You can only be a human. If you work and study hard. If you work and study hard. It's so exciting. Learn reading, learn writing. You will be a human. Life will be super good.
So, are any of you afraid of insects? Who shivers when they see a spider? Who runs from a dragonfly? Now I'm going to tell you a spooky story, which happened to a girl called Anyuta. Listen very carefully and tremble. Anyuta was very afraid of all kinds of bugs. When she saw a moth, she immediately hid under the table. Oh, poor me. When she saw an ant, she immediately climbed a tree. Oh, poor me. One time, when her younger brother, Vafka, went for a walk, Anyuta's mother asked her to help clean the house. Anyuta, get the vacuum cleaner from the closet and vacuum the carpet in the living room. But Anyuta couldn't go to the closet. There was a spider spinning perfectly its web. Anyuta opened the door slowly. A horrible fear ran up and down her spine. It was pitch dark inside the closet. Beware! How could she get the vacuum from there? Walking through a spider web is not for me. I'll find the vacuum by touch, that's it. Anyuta cautiously opened the closet door a bit wider so that the spider wouldn't notice her, and started taking out everything she could without looking. First, she got her father's ski, then took out a globe, and then she felt an electric cord. So she pulled it out. And instead of getting the vacuum cleaner from the closet, a broken lamp, an ironing board, and an old bicycle without a front wheel fell on her. "Oh," said her mom, "it seems we have buried treasure in the closet, but not a vacuum cleaner. Then go to the kitchen and take out the garbage." "Oh, please not the garbage. There's a cockroach. It's scary and has long feelers. It will eat our girl in a second, pat its belly, and burp with content." Mustering all the courage she might have left, Anyuta decided to do the following. "I will grab the garbage and run quickly. Then the cockroach won't be able to eat me." Anyuta grabbed the full bin, rushed to the door, and behind her, there was a terrible crunch and a horrible screech. "Oh the stools, chairs, and tables all around the kitchen, the garbage started falling out of the bucket. Well now, said her mom, if you don't want to take out the garbage, go to the balcony and water the flowers. Balcony? The word makes me cry. For all their lives, a huge butterfly. It's scarier than a spider and cockroach. And because it can fly, it will attack from above, from the left and the right. And there's no way I can win. Okay, back to the flowers, as quietly as possible. Maybe I'll fight back with the watering can. Anyuta started watering the flowers. And the scary butterfly started flapping its gigantic wings. The girl rushed to one corner of the balcony and hit 2 flower pots. She rushed to the other corner and lost the watering can. She ran back inside and hid under the table. Puddles of water and dirt are everywhere on the balcony. Many things from the closet and garbage are all over. I'm wondering who did all this mess. Who? The butterfly, the cockroach, the spider? Her mom sighed sadly and cleaned up the balcony. She gathered up the garbage and vacuumed the carpet. At that time, Fafka, Anyuta's brother, came home and went to her right away. Look at this beautiful ladybug I have. Do you want to pet it? Aren't you afraid of it? Asked Anyuta. Of course not. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Look how tiny it is, and look at me. I'm big and strong, said her little brother. And then Anyuta understood. Creepy crawlings and other scary bugs only seem dangerous to us, my good friends. They're a bit smaller than the size of a safety pin. We're 1,000 times bigger. There's no reason to shiver.
When you hold this miracle in your hand, shining like the golden sun with light, then this summer morning truly feels grand, and you're happy singing with delight, as the golden fish will make its tail swish. All your fairy tale dreams will come true. Just be nice and good and grant your friends' wish. Friends deserve the gift of magic too.